Welcome to the InNOLEvation Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Kylie Anderson, and I'm here with Nathan Lorenz.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. How are you doing today?
So far, so good. You know, it's getting a little hot out, but
It is.
spring is here.
Spring is definitely here, and so many flowers are blooming on campus right now,
They
which
certainly
brings
are.
me to your business that you're starting, Greenhouse Coffee.
Very excited. But
That's so
yeah.
exciting.
So the concept is one day we want to become a combination like indoor plant nursery and a cafe, and almost have like
Yeah.
a shared space for people to come sit down. You know, a lot of the cafes in Tallahassee are very just like rush in, rush out. For
They
instance,
are.
Red Owl just started up and they're only a drive-through. Same thing with Ileano's in Thomasville, I think. You know,
Oh, I haven't heard of that one yet.
it's up kind of far away, but it's another drive-through only. So you want to have like an actual cafe space to sit down, almost reminiscent
Totally.
of Maman, if you know what that is.
Yeah, I do. That's an awesome concept.
Thank you.
I haven't heard of Red Owl either.
Oh,
That's new.
they're on Tennessee where it turns into Mahan almost.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. So that's such an amazing concept to combine plants and coffee, because I feel like those two are very popular, and to combine them is awesome. You're definitely going to get a lot of customers.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how did you initially come up with this idea?
Well, it's kind of a funny story because my best friend Zoe and I were both just like chit-chatting one day, and we both were talking about it, and she had some weird idea where she was like, oh, what if you, Lauren, and I, her cousin,
Yeah.
had a cafe, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, that's so funny you say that because I had a dream last night that we did. Then she
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
oh, maybe we should do something with this. So then we had to think of a way to differentiate it a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we came up with the plant concept.
Oh, awesome.
And then she already was super into plants and knew a lot about that. I was super into coffee, so it kind of balanced out. So she's more of the plant girl.
Okay.
I'm more of the coffee side.
Yeah.
So then we were looking in how to get it started up and like grow it small because we didn't want to like just dive in.
Right.
So we started at Market Wednesday selling some plants that we'd gotten and that Zoe had in her collection. And then we turned a profit the first week.
Oh, wow. That's
and
amazing.
We've been going every week since. Thank you. Except for, weather and stuff.
Yeah.
But
That's
then we had to go through all the filing paperwork to get an LLC in order to buy coffee beans and coffee grounds
Oh, wow.
from a roastery. So that took forever.
Yeah.
We just launched our website last week.
Oh,
and now we're selling
congratulations.
online. And the
Great.
sales have been going pretty good with the coffee beans. But it's exciting to get it started finally.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you guys have had a really great start, and you have a good plan. And what's like your target market? I know you've been to Market Wednesdays, and how do you kind of hope to attract them more?
Well, our main target market, we would, from our research and just from feedback now, it's mostly college-age girls, 18 to 26, I'd say, is the upper limit.
Yeah.
About 75% of our customers are female, and then the guys who do buy things tend to be buying them for their girlfriends, like about half
I
of them
see.
do.
Yep.
But now that we have the coffee beans going too, we're having a little bit of we almost have to look inward a little bit right now because we don't know exactly which direction to take it. We need to combine it into more of like an online business and target older people who are willing to spend a little bit more on a bag of coffee, since, it is more specialty than like going to Publix and getting a bag of Pete's or
Right.
whatever. So, it's a little higher price point. So that's the struggle right now because our plant customers are all younger college girls who don't have that much money to spare,
Yes.
whereas the coffee is more of an upscale item. So
Definitely. And coffee can be expensive, but
certainly can.
tell me more about how you created your coffee beans. That's really awesome. Is that like you guys had to come up with that and test different samples, or how did that work?
So we had to reach out to a couple different roasteries of people we already knew in the industry who we just liked their product, because a lot of coffee roasteries will import their product from all over the world and then make them in their own house, and then they'll sell them to coffee companies like us, or
Oh,
for instance, I don't want to say it, but other coffee companies around here use the same one.
Oh,
So we're all almost similar in a sense, but
right.
different
I
distribution
think I
channels.
know which one you're talking about.
Different distribution channels and different like marketing strategies, I'd say.
Yeah.
And some of them, they'll, raise the price too much or too little, and then it just doesn't pan out for them.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that is really smart to have your own roast for sure. What's the name of that, and what's kind of like the effect, caffeine levels, all that stuff?
So we started out with a very neutral roast, so we didn't want it to be like, too strong for anybody or too light. So we did a breakfast blend. We called it Aloe Vera Awakening. So it's supposed to just be like, just something very typical if you think of a morning cup of coffee.
I love the name of that.
Thank you. But yeah, we would like to expand as soon as possible into more different roasts and different flavors. And then one day we want to get into like espresso and more specialty,
Ooh.
single origin type beans, but those are a lot more expensive right now.
Right. Well, that sounds amazing. Aloe Vera Awakening, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great name. And you guys have, how many Market Wednesdays have you guys done? Or kind of an estimate?
I want to say we've been to like 6 now, and then we were going to do more, but, weather and stuff. So,
right.
But each one's a little different. They're fun. Some weeks are better than others. It really just depends, again, on the weather and how that is. If it's too hot, I've noticed a lot of people don't come out. Or
I
if
can
it's
see
cloudy.
why, definitely.
But it's funny how many surges you get throughout the day. You can just sit there for 45 minutes and you won't get anybody. For 15 minutes, you'll be so busy.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I bet class is getting let out too. People are coming by and just shopping through. Like I was strolling by the other day and saw a greenhouse. I had to stop by and get my first orchid.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it so much. How's it doing?
It's doing great. I'm not the best plant caretaker.
Oh.
I've never been super great, but I'm trying to hone in on my skills. I've been feeding him an ice cube. Oh, no.
No. You should not do that. Okay. That is how to kill them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you best care for an orchid?
A little off topic, but
that's okay.
Like once a week, the little pot it came in, the white ceramic?
Yes.
Fill that full thing up with water and let it soak for like 20 minutes, and then take the plastic inner cup out.
Okay.
Drain out all the water, and then do that once a week, once every week and a half, whenever the moss is kind of dry or the roots are silver.
This is good to know, because I called my mom and I was like, hey, I know you have an orchid. How do you take care of it? She's like, just give it an ice cube every now and then.
They're tropical plants, so like the ice shocks them. It's way too cold.
Oh my gosh. See, this is great. You're super knowledgeable with the plants. That's great.
This wasn't staged.
No, this was not. So what's your favorite plant?
Orchids. Actually, I have a tattoo of one.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
that's really cool. It's awesome that when you find a business where the owners or their creators are very passionate about what they're doing, and I feel like that's you and your partner Zoe, especially because you have your love of plants and coffee, and her love of plants, and
she loves coffee too.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it is good. We make a good team too. Sometimes they say don't get into business with your friends because you just like bump heads.
I have heard that.
But so far so good. Zoe and I are both very different in the way we think. She's more of the creative aspect. I'm more analytical, like stiff, rigid. She's more go with the flow, easygoing, and spontaneous. So I feel like it blends out and balances each other out.
I was just thinking it's probably a good balance to have a little bit of both.
Yeah, I would agree. Because if it was my way, it'd be so like organized and too structured. Her way like attracts customers and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And especially since you guys are friends, that is nice to work with friends too.
Yeah.
It's a good environment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool. What's you and Zoe's go-to coffee order?
Zoe's go-to coffee order, I'd say, is probably just like a straight up vanilla latte.
It's a classic.
Usually iced, but
Yeah.
I usually like to go for the biggest size they have, iced latte with skim milk and cinnamon powder. That's always a safe bet. Or sugar-free hazelnut.
Hazelnut is really good.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, something we want to mention about the cafe, just to jump back into that. Yeah. We wanted to also have more like food options that are more health oriented in a sense. So, dietary restrictions. So, for instance, I don't eat added sugar, so we want to have a lot of different sugar-free flavors and alternatives and stuff like that for people.
I love that idea because I have been getting more into sugar-free myself, and a lot of coffee shops around here don't offer that.
Yeah.
And their lattes and cold brews and cold foams, they're very sugary. So that is very innovative. That's a very good idea.
Thank you. I've also noticed that a lot of the cafes around here also, if they do have sugar-free, it's like 3 flavors. They have vanilla, hazelnut,
Exactly.
or what's the third one they always have? Caramel.
Caramel. I've noticed that too. I think that'll definitely attract a lot of customers, especially if you have anything like, I mean, lavender is my favorite syrup.
Me too.
Sugar-free lavender would be amazing. All that.
Yeah, certainly.
And it's great that you guys are starting out so early with your own roast. That is a great business move for sure. Are you going to start selling that roast in person on Market Wednesdays?
Well, we would like to, but we're not allowed to.
Oh, okay.
You're not allowed to sell any food product in that counts, I guess. They sent us an email basically saying don't do it or you'll get in trouble. So
Okay.
we asked if we can direct people to the website, and they said yes to that. So
That's amazing.
moving forward, we'll have to direct people to the website, or if you want to just like DM us on Instagram, reach out on email, and you're Tallahassee local, we're more than happy to drop it off to you.
Okay, great. It's great that you have an online business, especially you can easily direct people on there. They can buy the roast and everything. And I've even seen at your table, you have a lot of options, a lot of selling points like stickers and fun plans.
Zoe is very artsy, so she'll make magazine or little zines. I don't know if you know what those are.
Yeah.
She just told me about those. She'll make little postcards for Valentine's Day. She had a card, stickers, and just like little fun things that people can like stick on whatever they want, and just gets her name out there a little more.
That's awesome. Definitely. And being out there, it's definitely spreading the word around for sure. What are your long-term hopes? I know you were talking about opening a greenhouse eventually, selling coffee.
Long term, we would like to eventually get into the actual like physical cafe location. But first we need to build out the online sales and get more distribution out and just more of a customer base to prove the model and prove that people actually like the coffee, first of all. But midterm, Zoe was discussing, actually this morning we had a meeting. She was saying instead of jumping all the way into a cafe, what if we started with a little cart or a little trailer, for instance? And right now we're kind of grappling with going back to Naples or staying in Tallahassee.
Okay.
Because I'm graduating. She's not continuing. So we're kind of grappling with all that. So that kind of changes our long-term goals, but long-term would be to open a cafe and have a substantial online presence to keep the cafe afloat, since restaurant margins aren't as profitable as online sales would be.
Yeah. I mean, that, especially a truck idea or a cart, that is really smart. I know Frother's daughter, they get a lot of business. Their cart is always, the lines are packed down the streets. So that could be a really great idea, especially if you're not totally sure where you guys are going to end up location-wise.
Yeah, certainly. There was this one coffee shop in Naples. Actually, they have 2 locations now, but they started out with just like a cart yay big, I want to say.